Hi. In grade 10, you learned about a parabola or a quadratic function. And the standard form of your parabola was y is equal to ax squared plus q. When a was a positive number, say it was 7 or 3 or 4 or a quarter, your graph will be shaped like this. However, if a was a negative number, a minus 5, a minus 3, a minus a third, your graph will look like this. In this case, let's look at this example. Y is equal to 3x squared minus 12. And a is a positive number, so the graph looks like this. In this one, y is equal to minus 2x squared plus 18. The a is a negative number, it's a negative 2, so the graph looks like this. The q value tells us how to shift the graph vertically. So the q value tells us whether the graph goes up or it goes down. In this case, the q value is minus 12, so the graph moved from 0 to minus 12. In this case, the q value is 18, so the graph moved up from 0 to positive 18. So the q value takes the graph up or down. Now, we are going to look at a certain graph now. Again, let's go back to what we know. The graph of y is equal to ax squared plus q. Could be a graph like this. If a is positive, we can move the graph up or we can move the graph down. Meaning that the turning point is moved down, the turning point is moved up. In this case here, so we'll take the same thing. If I take the graph, I put it here. We know what the q is. The q is taking the graph up or down. But now when you've got it like this, so now the graph will also move sideways, right or left, right or left. Let's look at an example. We've got to draw a graph of y is equals to 2 into x minus 1 all squared plus 3. The a value is 2, which means that my graph is there. It's positive 2. Now, I must move the graph. We know about this one because it's a positive 3, so the graph will move up 3 units. But what about this? The graph now will move sideways. It will move to the right. If x minus 2, x minus 1, if I solve here, I'll get x minus 1 equals 0, so x is equals to 1. So the graph, or the turning point here, will move 1 unit to the right, because that's 1 unit to the right, and 3 units up. So the graph will move 1 unit to the right, there, and then 3 units up, 1, 2, 3. So the turning point will then be there, 1 unit to the right, x is 1, and then 3 units up is to 3. So now it means that I've got my graph having a turning point of 1 is to 3. We can see the turning point can be found from here. You solve for x, you get your 1, then that is that value as it is. Now, if this is my graph, and then let me draw it, it turns there. It means that then my graph will have an axis of symmetry. My line of symmetry is a line that goes through the middle here. Let me use a red pen so that we can see is that dotted line there. So equation of that line here is x is equal to 1 because cuts at 1. So the equation of the axis of symmetry is x is equal to 1. The y-intercept. The y-intercept is where the graph cuts the y-axis. That is by y-axis. We want to find the value where this graph cuts the y-axis. How do you find the y-intercept? We make x 0. If I want to find the y-intercept, I make x 0. If x is 0 in the equation, therefore I'll have y is equals to 2. Then I put 0 for x minus 1, which is squared, plus 3. You make x 0. So y is equals to 2. 0 minus 1 is minus 1, which is squared, plus 3. So y is equals to 2 times minus 1 squared. That is 2 times a positive 1 plus 3. So y is equals to 2 times 1 is 2 plus a 3. So y is 5. So the y-intercept is 5. There, it's 5. Let's look at another example. Y equals minus 3 into x plus 2 all squared plus 48. In this case, that's a minus 3. It means that my graph was supposed to be facing down like this, because that is negative. Now, that is plus 2, so it has shifted. Shifted to which side? So I solve for x. So x plus 2 equals 0. So x equals minus 1. It shifts minus 2. So it shifted 2 units to the left. So if I take that point, I shift 2 units to the left, it'll be somewhere there. So it's at minus 2. So now it's there. Note, we've got a plus 48. What does plus 48 mean? It means that my graph is going up, because it's a positive 48. So I'll have to take this. Now it's there. That point is there. So it will go up to 48. Let's say 48 is up there. Let's make 48 there. So the point will be there. I'll have a point there, which is in line with a minus 2 and a 48. That would be my turning point. Minus 2 is to 48. If I were to draw that graph, so my graph will look something like this and something like that. Then we need the line of symmetry, the axis of symmetry. Always cuts through the turning point, it goes like that. So if I were to draw the line of symmetry, the axis of symmetry with the red line so that you can all see, and therefore it means that the equation of this red line passing at minus 2 is x is equal to minus 2. So the equation of the axis of symmetry is x is equal to minus 2. Now, our graph cuts the y-axis there, which means that we need to work out the y-intercept, because it cuts the y-axis. How do you find the y-intercept? We make x equals 0. If x is 0, I plug in 0 there. So y is equals to minus 3. Put a 0 for x plus 2 all squared plus 48. So y is equals to minus 3 times, that is 2 squared plus 48. So y is equals to minus 2, that's 4. So it's minus 12 plus 48. So y is equals to minus 12 plus 48 equals at 36. So the graph cuts at 36 over there. Now the rule is, if the graph also cuts the x-axis, you must also find the values of x where it cuts the x-axis. So can we try and find that? How to find those? We call those the x-intercepts. Those are the x-intercepts. How to find the x-intercept? To find the y-intercept, we say x0. To find the x-intercept, we make y0. So now y0. If I plug y0 there, so I'll have 0 is equals to minus 3 times x plus 2 all squared plus 48. And then I can solve for x. Now, trying to solve for x, what do? I can do it like 0 is equals to, I remove the brackets there, it's minus 3. Then if I multiply here, there will be 2 brackets, remember. 2 brackets there, then plus 48. So 0 is equals to minus 3 times the answer that you'll get there, plus 48. So multiplying out, you get x squared. Multiply with that is plus 2x. Multiply with that is plus 2x. Multiply with that is plus 4. So 0 is equal to a minus 3 times x squared plus 4x plus 4. plus 48, which therefore means we have 0 equals minus 3x squared minus 12x minus 12 plus 48. So 0 equals a minus 3x squared minus 12x plus 36. Now I've got to solve for x because I'm trying to find x. So sometimes we don't know how to factorize a thing. So to find the x-intercept, sometimes we can use the formula. Remember the formula? It says x is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of a b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we can try and find the value of x. So x is equals to minus. What is our b value? Is minus 12. So plus or minus square root of a minus 12, which is squared, minus 4 times the a value is minus 3 times the c value is 36 all over 2a. So x is equal to, now we can put that in the calculator and try and work out the answer. There is my calculator. Put my calculator, try and put the values in. Let's try to put it like this. There you go. So I put it in fraction form. So there's minus, then I open bracket, then it's minus 12 close, plus, now square root, open bracket, then minus 12 close, squared, minus 4 open bracket, minus 3 close, open bracket, 36 close, over 2 open bracket. What's our a value? Forgot the a value was minus 3. That was minus 3 there. Put minus 3, close there, and I get an answer. Answer is minus 6. I get x equals minus 6, or x is equal to, note that I change, I put a plus there, so you can see it's a plus there. So I just don't need a plus now. I want to put a negative. I can go back to the thing here and go all the way there. Oh my thing, go. You know how to do it. Then I've got to remove that, delete button there, then I put a minus in, and then equal sign gives me 2, x equals 2. So you found that x is minus 6, and then it's 2. So if I go to my graph, that is a 2, and then minus 6. So minus 6 goes there. So that is the graph. So the graph looks like this, cuts there and there, the axis of symmetry at minus 2, the y-intercept at 36, the turning point there. Now, can you try from your textbook, which is, you see our Vola textbook, grade 11, chapter 5, exercise 5.1, number 1, exercise 5.6, number 1b, number 2, number 3, D, E, and F.